Yes, mum, toilet. Okay, so new baby. I'm going to do a unisex one, gender neutral, and I'm going to do it as a double. So I don't think I've done a double baby. I've done the, did I? No, I've done 2 singles and floating books. So I'll do a double baby one. Okay. So I've already gone ahead. In fact, you can see all the bits here just from the projects. It's quite nice. I've said this many times, but when you get your die sets, I think it's quite nice to just sit down and build them. You know, make them into these little 3D embellishments that you can then have at hand and ready to use. You see the bibs there where I've changed the different colours and the little pins. I've got all the balloons there, so I've got all the colours ready, so I can just yeah, pop one underneath. I'll find one. So I've gone and cut loads of these just to show you how it all looks in different colours. And for this one, I've made little ABC blocks using my chunky alphabet, and then I've just cut squares. I think they were 1 1¼ squared and then 1½ squared. So I've just made some little building blocks there. Dead easy to do. And I'm going to have hearts popping out the bottom and the building blocks popping out the top. And then on the front, I've already got the bookmark kind of ready and the little wax seal. And we'll go through that in a bit more detail in a moment. So yeah, lots of bits all ready and cut, and I think that can reduce the time when you go to make these kind of more detailed cards as well, because I've got a lot of stuff ready, and a lot of my coloured images, when I've coloured them and spent time colouring them, I'll photocopy them then for my own use, so that then when I go to use them, I've got it already coloured. So yeah, just makes it a little bit easy. So I've got my image here, and then I've got all of the bits for the mechanism. So papers I've used for this one are the polka dots from the, what did I say, it was 3D Delights, didn't I? This one here. Really good for new baby cards. The polka dots, perfect. So again, I've cut the book, so now we know how to do this bit. I'm going to whiz through this next part. So I'm just going to curve them all and add the score line. Remember, if you're just joining, you've got a chance of winning a bundle of £95 worth of product from this new collection. I'll be choosing a name at random at the end. You don't need to spam or anything, just normal chat as we are, and I will choose someone later. So now just fold these all in half. That's my plan, to spend one day just, yeah. And sometimes I always say that's a nice thing to do if you've lost your crafty mojo and you don't know what you want to make. Just sit and die cut lots of things and just use, you know, make them all up. Oh my god, I can tell this is going to be amazing already. I love the colours. Where is your card from? Where is your card from for this? It's a mix. This here feels like Tonic because it's got the linen background. That feels like, oh, it's that international brand that I get from my local craft shop. And that one, I think's Lidl. But CraftStash have lots of good cardstock. That's where you want to get it from. It's just a mix, and some of it's scraps as well. So, but yeah, CraftStash have got loads of good paper packs and cardstock. In fact, I need to do an order. I said to my boss not too long ago, I've got to put an order in. I still haven't done it, so I'm desperate for brights. Actually, it's the bright colours I need now. I've not got a lot of them, so maybe I'll do that after this. Well, no, I've got to do editing after this, so maybe not. Okay, so again, just make sure you've got them all the right way up. You've got that deeper curve towards the top. I need some scrap busting. My scrap bins are overflowing. Yeah, things like this are perfect. So I've already, again, gone over this. Oh, did that still? Oh no, I must have caught it earlier. But it was still wet then. I was saying, I did do this morning, but that was hours ago. No, it's fine. You can see, just pulled out the colours that match the papers that I'm using there. Right, again, flip them over, add your tape along the score line. You can stick the whole thing down if you want, but it can be quite, I think with all the glue, it can be quite weighty and quite clumpy, whereas if you just use your tape, it's enough. And there's no pressure on the book, you know, the pages and stuff, they're just sitting there, they're not getting pulled. I'm useless at getting the colours to match. Go on to Google and put in colour swatches, and you will get images upon images of different colour combos, and save some of your favourites. Go on to the colour wheel, you'll get all different ones. If you go on to Pantone colour blends, put in what colours match best together and click images, and you get so much. I use it a lot to, you know, get inspiration and ideas. Just put in popular colour palettes and what goes best with yellow, what colours go best with green, you know, you get all sorts. Google Images is really good for that kind of thing. And again, if you're like me and you've got lots of old cards and magazines and things like that, then that's filled with inspiration. Spotty ones from the 3D Delights, so the most recent paper pad that I launched, and it's still available. There's not many units left, but it is still, well, it was there, I'm sure. Well, it would have been last night when I checked. It was there. Okay, hopefully I'm in shot. I love Kinetic cards, so glad you're designing some. All my collections, Tracy, are Kinetic, apart from the showstoppers and towers, but everything's Kinetic. Everything has a movement or something to it. You're welcome. Colour wheel's really helpful, yeah. Right, so we've got our book. I'm going to keep the inside plain because I'm going to have a lot. I just want that white to be just a plain background for everything to pop. So now, with this one here, you want to cut yourself 2 of the saddle, or Alien, as it's also been known as. Was it Predator? Is that it? It's Predator? No, it is Alien. Predator's got all those weird things coming out of his head, hasn't he? Okay, and then what you can do, if you want to, you don't have to do this, but you might want to reinforce it. So I've cut 2, and you're just going to, again, go over the score lines. But they are all there, but it just make it a bit easier. So you've got a centre one, so I'm just lining that one up, and then you've got these angled ones, which if you just find a track, again, as long as it's straight, you'll be able to go over all of those. You don't have to, as I say, with a lot of this, but it just will make it a bit easier and neater. Because you can't go too deep with the score lines at the factory, otherwise you end up cutting the card. The sides are just supports, so you don't need to worry about those. And then, so with this one, you want to fold it in half, and then you'll have 2 V's here. You want them all to be valley folds, so V for valley. Again, you don't need to worry about remembering all this now. All the videos will be coming up. So those of you receiving your product tomorrow, I'll have a tutorial with the floating book going up tomorrow, and then the single wiper I think will be Sunday. And then just fold it all in. So I'm just going to show you that again. So you've got your score line running through the middle, and you've got 2 V's. Make sure the V's are valleys, and then this will, you know, become a mountain fold, and it just will all fold like this. All right. Now, the cradle part that you saw me do earlier, again, let's do the score lines on this, fits perfectly within the wiper. Like I said, it all coordinates. So you want to cut all the same bits again. So I've got 2 of those square bits, which are for the cradle. But because this one is a double wiper, or a wiper, you only need 2 of the supports, because you're supporting 2 opposite corners, because you need these stoppers would affect the wiper pieces otherwise, because they'd hit against it. So okay, so we've got this one. Now if you want to reinforce it, because everyone's going to have different weight cardstock, so if you've got a lighter weight cardstock, you might find reinforcing it will help. But you want to just cut the V shape, or half the V shape out with the long bit attached, and just stick it over the top. Okay, yeah, it is, Brian. Yeah, very similar but slightly different. And then again, and then usually your construction glue to stick them down. I'm just going to use the quick grab because of doing this live. Just add your glue. And then stick that over the top. But do it when it's all folded, so you're sticking it down into that fold. Now we're going to trim these. Again, you've got that length if you're putting it into a bigger card. Lots of people like to do the 7x7 and the 8x8. So if you imagine if you're doing this on an 8x8 card, you can have so much on the pop outs, because you've got pretty much the whole 8x8 behind the book to be able to fill, because that's what you're pulling out. So you can get a lot on these. You've got to be careful with the placement. It might hit the stopper and things like that. So you have to, it's like with anything, I say stick it down and close it. And then, you know, if it's not quite right, you can move it. Don't go and just stick everything down and then you've got it all done and it's all dry and you go to close it and it doesn't work. So just do it each, you know, step. But I have to give loads of hints and tips because, as I've said before, with any kind of these Kinetic cards, when you buy them from the shops, they're all done in a factory, all on the same card, all using the same ink. The folds are all the same, you know, everything's the same. Whereas when you're making a die set for people to then make their own, they're always using different card, different glue. So by giving lots of hints and tips, hopefully you'll all get the same result. So right, so now we've got this. So now this goes in first when you do the wiper, and then the cradle, so this one here, you'll see fits perfectly in that space there. Okay. Can use the wiper bit, car behind. You can, but you'd have to, all of this would have to be different sizes because that comes out to the top of the 6x6. So if that was 5, it's going to stick out the top. So now I'm going to add my glue all to one side. Do both at the same time if you want, but do it in stages first. And again, you want to line this up with the middle of the card. I think this one's a shop brought one, so it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit smaller. So 2 7/8 is where I kind of want to be. Make sure it's the right way up. So 2 7/8. So about there. So you're sticking it up to the score line. Make sure, if I go, this is the front. Make sure this line or this side here is nice and straight. Again, up to the score line, not on it, otherwise you're going to get a lot of tension and bulk on that score line. Okay, and then add your glue all on the other side, and then close that up. Okay. Sarah says, I've just ordered mine, loads of ideas buzzing around in my head, so looking forward to receiving my goods. Oh, that's so nice to hear, Sarah. And anybody who's in this chat and you've purchased and this is new, maybe, you know, you're just finding me today, you might not know, but we've got a fantastic Facebook group called Mixed Up Crafters, and there you can share anything you make following my YouTube tutorials from my collections. And there is nearly, I think we've got like 10,400 or something members, and it's popular. There is stuff, lots of stuff gets shared every day, and you might find, you know, someone's got this collection and they share their, I don't know, wedding card using it, and then that then gives you an idea, or they might do a Christmas version, and it's just really lovely. I get loads of inspiration there as well. Is there a better card stock? I always recommend you want to be using above a 220. 220 is cards, you know, 220 and above is cardstock. I always find below that you're more paper. a bit flimsy. But if you're using a construction glue and you're adding mats and layers, when the construction glue dries, it creates a strong card as well. Yes, join Mixed Up Crafters. It is. It's a lovely group. So now, when that opens, you can see we've got these pieces popping up. What you want to do now is just add a bit of a curve into these. Okay, we want them to be more shaped that way rather than just sticking upright, because these are going to slide under the book. Again, this is everything, all these tips, all these steps are all in my tutorial, so you can stop and pause and go at your own, leisure. And like I said, I'm going to be trimming this in a minute as well. Ah, thank you, Prakna. Yeah, it is. It's a lovely group. Really nice. Book of Spells. That would be so cool. If you've got some of Helen's collection, her Halloween stuff, I think there might be the odd little bit still available. I'm sure she's got a stamp set or something that says Book of Spells, or there's something to do with a book. That's a wonderful idea. I might have to have a little look on Helen's actually, because it'd be nice to do something with this for Halloween. Love that idea. Right, so now we can go to the cradle. So we're going to stick, again, just as we did now. Everything I'm doing now is just what I did with the floating book. You just want to stick this bit in first, okay? So you're sticking that one down, in, again, up to the score line. A little bit over there. Okay. So just pretend, this is now the middle of the card, all right? Now, this bit is where it's not difficult, but you've got to make sure you don't want to fold that flat. We're going to add glue to this end and then close it, because these side pieces would stick on top of that, and that's not what you want. This has to go over and form a bridge so that, can you see it slides in underneath? Let me bring it out that way, okay? So, easy to do, but these are just little steps you just want to take your time on until you've got used to the set. So my glue, and bring that over, and make sure it dries the other side. I can do it all at the same time, so it's okay. So just pop that one back in there. Okay, and then I'm bringing it over like so. So just to make sure, can you see they go in under that triangle piece? So we've got like a little tent. Good for Easter pop-up bunny. Oh, so many ideas. Easter cards are going to look lovely. Spring cards. Use the baskets from my 3D Delights, the handle and the wicker effect. The bunny. Yeah, so many ideas. I missed out on last Halloween. These demos are so important to getting it right. Yeah, yeah. Just practice, Linda. Okay, so now when I open that, you can see it all pops out, but it slides under that little tent. Okay, so it's like a little home. They've got to go in their little home. Okay, just remember that. All right, now we're going to add these pieces. So again, if you've made that's why I want you to follow just the pop-up book first. Get that in place, because all I'm doing is doing that same bit that I did. It's just sitting over the top of the wiper, okay? And I'm always just at the end of a message on Facebook. Sometimes it does take me time to get to them. I've not even had a chance to look this week, only on the odd one. So, but I am happy to help. And I get lots of people, sharing, asking questions and stuff. So don't be afraid to ask. And then again, sticking that the other side. So again, you can see we've got our cradle over the wiper. Yeah, I like, Liz, I like to have collections that are not just going to work with past MTS, but work with what you already have as well. Our collections, and they are collections, cost money. I look after mine and I archive them, and I love it, so I want to be able to, use it with lots of things. Although saying that, like I said, I'm not going to the right-hand side so much now. I am going to the left, but there are some things from that right-hand side that I will never part with. So I need to just have a good sort out. You always make these types of cards easy to do. Love the Facebook group and your YouTube videos. Thank you, Michelle. You are the best, Sam. So many tutorials to help crafters with any collections you bring out. Oh, thank you. Right. So now we need to add the book. Now you might want to, I'm just thinking whether to, yeah, snip, if this is, well it is, it's going in a 6x6 card, but if it was bigger then you wouldn't need to snip these, but I'm going to take, I've been taking about an inch off, so I'm just going to snip away. But I mean, because you build up on these, some of you might just find you stick to the end of this and you just build up and up and up and up and up, but having the saddle just gives you a bit more of a base. And when I go to stick this on, I'll show you exactly where you want to place that. So now I'm going to add my glue onto, I'm going to do both sides of this now that you've seen how I did it, like so, and just make sure that they've got a nice curve to them. Okay, and then, do you know, I was just about to stick that in there. Oh, gosh. Right, so now what you want to do is this has got to go between these two here, okay, and just again, just make sure it's in the middle of the card, just moving it over to the left ever so slightly, and just close that down, like so. And just make sure that make sure your wiper's not got stuck underneath. Now this is a shop brought, so it's just poking out a little bit there, but that's on the back, so that's okay. If it's a true 6x6, it's all in there. It will never be known as a saddle. Shush, Deborah. Sam, I'm supposed to be doing some QC work, but I can't turn my eyes off the screen. Ah, sorry, I'm pulling you away, Joe, but thank you for watching. Sharon, I really don't see that as a saddle anymore. You lot are terrible. See, I've got to keep it, you know, what's the word, PG on my work Facebook page. But when we've got our mix and match Fridays, then we can say it as is. Could you use this for just one pop? Yes, so I've got the single, Christine. I'm not sure when you joined. While that's just drying, if I just go back to this one here. So here is a single. So you just cut off the bottom, and I share that in YouTube tutorials that are coming. You just cut off, if you can see under in here, but you can see where I've just snipped. It's just flat. Okay. So yeah, it's up to you. Single, double, or just a floating book or an open book. Yeah, really there's like 5 different kind of card styles that you can use with this. Oh no, really? Does the dog not realise, Karine, that you're watching a live? Yes, Simone, I get that. I can see that. So I'm just going to have another drink. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Helen's Spellbook. Elements is CraftStash SKU. Thank you, Marianne. I'm definitely going to look at that. I think it would make a wonderful Halloween card. Right. So again, just open this up. Now, as you open it, I don't want to put too much pressure on there. This is going to come up. Okay, so don't worry about these for the minute. Just keep an eye on your book. Make sure that's all secure. But you can start to see how it's going to work. Okay. Like so. So now I want to get my stoppers in place. So I've got these two. So just fold them over. Get rid of that so I know I'm not using the wrong bits. Now, this wiper is on the right hand side, but it's going to go, as you close it, it will end up going under the left hand page, this side here, and this one's going to come up under the right. So your stopper, you're going to have one up in the top right and one down in the bottom left, and it's the same for all of them when you do this. So, and this is explained in all the tutorials, so again, don't panic that you're going to forget what corner it's going to go in. I show you it all, but one's going to go in the top right and one's going to go in the bottom left. Okay, so again, but you want them to make sure they're in enough that you can't see them, so you've got that floating book still. But if you did like me on that one of those samples where I did bring it out a bit further, it's not the end of the world. It's, you know, it's a support, it's there. So I'm just going to bring this one in again, down about 1 inch and in by 1 inch, like so, and then I'm going to come around to this corner. The same again. You want to get them in pretty much the same place because you want the same pull on each side, like so. Oh, all right, with the saddle, you lot. That's all I can see now. Work could be watching this. They'll be in the office watching this live and seeing all your smut. A recipe bone for baking good elements. That's sweet, Jeanette. Yeah, it's a nice idea. You just make it all look so easy, Sam. But hopefully, with me breaking it down into each step, you can pick it up. You explain everything. Oh, thank you. You've done that one. You're all replying to each other. I can't see some of the what you're saying to each other. I dread to think what some of it is actually. So just make sure they're secure, and then add your glue to the other end, and then you're going to fold that down. Okay, so again, so it's flat, but this time as you close it, you need to get your hand and just clip the two wipers underneath, because you haven't added the saddle on yet. But once that's under, you'll see it will all go flat. Thank God for you. Yeah, I've gone really slow with it on YouTube, Debbie, and I've gone through everything in detail, so it'll be fine. Like I said, and I say it in the videos, make a template, make like just a plain one first. We are a PG family. Just make a plain one up first, and then you know exactly what you're doing. Yes, it would be fun to create family favourites recipe card. That's a nice idea. I like the recipe idea. So innocent. Right, again, you definitely want to kind of, if you're rushing it like me, just hold, I'm just holding where I've just glued, just until it all opens. Okay, but you can see it all pops out nicely. But you can see that this is where most of the pressure is just on these little tabs. But as long as you let the glue dry, they will hold. Okay, but now you can see that that's hidden enough under there that the book looks like it's floating. Okay, and then again with this side, I'm just going to fold that down, add my glue, and then again, as you close it, make sure your wipers, only at this stage, they will find their way in a minute really easily, but it's just while you're putting these in. And can you see there how that's just all going in? Right, I think while that's drying, I'm going to decorate the front again, because there's quite a lot in there. I just want that glue to completely set. So let's do the bookmark. So I've used a sheet of vellum for the top bookmark, and then that green for the bottom, and then I just tied some ribbon. It threads through really nicely, and then a little bow on the top. On the other one I added a little metal heart, which looked really sweet as well, but I'm going to add that onto the top. I'm going to stick it with some of my foam. So yeah, if you do it like me, decorate whilst it's all drying, then at least you know it's had the time. This is why I keep saying I'm glad I don't do TV anymore, because I feel like sometimes I get longer and longer with these cards, but I think they need a bit longer airtime to really explain it all. So I'm going to have it slightly on an angle, like so. Imagine me doing this on a TV, I'd have to have done it so fast. And then, oh, get my little wax seal there. I'm going to use some hot glue for this one. That one there, like so, and then I just want to build up all of these bits. So let's do the glittery there. I think I had that heart at the back, or maybe do the yellow heart actually, so you can see that a bit better. And let's do little nappy pin, the ABCs for inside. Oh, the bottle, I knew I was missing one. Let's do the bottle, something like that, and then I was going to have the sentiment over like that. So again, really quick and easy if you've got all these pieces cut and ready to go, and just a nice fun way to build that all up. So again, I'm using hot glue on the front ones, but you could just use your normal glue as well. There's a little bit of like layers to these, and I've just put different coloured card behind, so I've got like the eyes and the wing there, but the die's cut all those bits out for you, so it's easy for you to piece it all in. Thank you everyone, I'm glad you're enjoying it. said I can't see all of the comments because I am alone today, but anything that I've missed and it is really specific, just drop me a private message and I'll hopefully get to it before the day's out. Otherwise I'll be picking all that kind of stuff up next week, because I just need to focus on getting this all done for CraftStash. But it's not until you start creating, and Lou always says this, we chat a lot, it's not until you get the collection you start creating, and I'm sure Gemma will agree, that you start to get even more ideas. Like I've got so many more ideas for this that I just didn't have the time to do in prep for the live. You know, you put things together and you think, oh, then I could do that with it and I could do that with it. So yeah, you will see a lot more, like with all of the collections. I'll bring them all out and reuse them again. There you go. So just a cute little decoration there on the front. And easy to personalise. So if you use the plain wax seal, you can stamp someone's initial in there and stuff. Christening card or compliment. Yeah, lots of really nice ideas coming in the chat. So now when we open this, I'm just going to check that they're all okay. So we've got our wipers popping out. So now we want to start building. So just grab something, like I said, that you can kind of put under each side. So it's like a little cradle for it. Let's just move this out of the way. So with your saddle, you want to now have something that's going to guide this into underneath the card. So the saddle's going to stick there, but you want the tip of the saddle now to go underneath the book. Okay, you need a bigger design team. Yeah, it would be nice. There's quite a few people I've seen when they share different makes, and I see their stuff and I'm like, oh, that would look so good. So just have the end there, all right, just underneath, going under the book. So already now that is going to want to go underneath that side. Okay, just give it all time to stick and make sure you've got that curve, so it's kind of bowing like down. And then again, if you're doing the double, you're now going to add that to the bottom again, making sure that the end there goes underneath that page. Okay, I'm not reading some of those comments. Benita, oh brilliant, I hope you don't have to wait too long for it. Benita's not in the UK, so often she has her stuff sitting in customs or something, isn't it? There's always something, bless you. Yeah, gender reveal, definitely, Brian, that would be cool. Lots of you saying your orders have been dispatched and now saying they've been shipped as well. So that means the truck's come around to the factory, it's picked them up. You must have got your order in early. Although saying that, I ordered something the other day. This was just not craft related. I ordered it at 8 AM and I got it the next day, and I paid normal post, which said it would take 3 to 5 days. But it just made it out on their morning post. So yeah, paid to get that in early. Okay, so now we've got that in place. Now it will now want to glide under there, but this will hit against the corner here. So that's where now what you start to add to it and build it up is going to help. So I've got the heart, which I want to bring down. I think I use the pink. So whatever you lay down first has to go slightly under the book, and you want there to be a nice clearance. So can you see that I'm going to stick this heart so that it goes underneath that bit of the book there. You will know this when you're making it. Okay, you'll see it's, if something's catching, then you'll know to rectify it, and that's what you want to do. You need this to have just a little bit of a smooth part, but now that will close underneath really nicely. Well, I think with all the bad press they've had, Pamela, they've got no choice but to sort it out, because fortunately, and like I said, there are many parts of the UK who have lovely service. My every driver, Tracy, she's lovely, and I feel for her, you know, because she's doing her job as it's meant to be, yet there's so many that aren't. So now with the building blocks, again, I want to have something that's just going to go, but that seam may just catch a little bit. So what I might do is add, maybe might add that little heart there, and then I can build up on top of that. So just a little bit of glue and just something there. Can you see what I've done? Hopefully it makes sense. Just want that glue to dry before I go to close it. But you can see there's just that smooth surface just on the folds there, and make sure that they're obviously where they should be. But that's all now going to close. But just build up now. Like I said, you can go to town with this, but you need to check every time you stick something down, close it, because you don't want it hitting your stopper. The stopper is up here. You want that to slide all in under there, and keep it narrowing towards the end here, so that it will slide underneath this bit here. But again, try it first with all your scraps and things like that, and you'll know exactly what you're doing. It's not difficult, I promise you, it really isn't. You just got to do the steps, and once you've done it a few times, then it'll be fine. Yeah, lots of you saying you've got lovely every drivers. So now I can add my building blocks. So I want to have the C. Let's do. Make sure you've got no like little points. So actually, I'll put a bit of glue down on the end there. So that's all flat. And let's do something like that. I think that looks quite cool. So let's do the A. We'll have to go down first. And then the B. And go over there. And the idea is you want to cover the saddle. And that's all be hidden. So we've got our ABC. Our new every driver is fab. Yeah, I think they've had to sort themselves out. They've probably got rid of all the bad stuff, haven't they? Let's face it. And now it's all better. Right, what else we got? We'll do more hearts towards the bottom and the ducks, but we could have the bottle there, looks cool. I might do a little bit just so it sticks under there. There we go. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. It's pretty self-explanatory once you get going with it. Could we use scrap piece of card for that part before adding the nice bits? Yeah, of course you can. Anything you want, Sandra. But with like the picture, because you might not need to add scraps. That's why I was trying to, if I show you on this one, can you see the photos just below there? So there's no scrap on that at all. That's the squares that come in the Wiper Edition set, but you can see how it just now glides and slides over that really nicely. So it's going to, you know, if you're using lots of little bits, then yeah, just stick one of the squares down or something and then build up off of that. Isn't it? It's such a nice surprise. This collection definitely suits the product, you know, the brand name. I think I might just have hearts down here. I think that could look quite sweet. A little yellow one at the end there, because then that works with just hiding all of that. We have like a few little hearts. Yeah, let's stick that one down. Nice Valentine's card as well. Just with all hearts. Just die cut tons of hearts in different pinks and reds. And write a little soppy Valentine's. You could find a poem or something online. I think that would be really sweet. I feel I need a yellow heart, which I've used there. I'm going to cut another yellow heart in a minute. Although we could use the bib. Right, what I want to do now is close it just to check that this is all going to fit inside, because you can see if it pokes out now. I'm glad this is all left in. I've gone too high there, and this is why when you stick something down you've got to check you close it each time for that reason. So what I will do is, because that's underneath, I think I can get away with moving that down. Actually, I've got a little bit of that white space to cover, so let's just pull that one down a little bit. So yeah, when you stick something down, please close it each time. I don't want to rush this. Sometimes when I make demos, you rush them and then you put all that work in, but not that I don't use them, but they're not finished the way that I'd want them to be finished. So I want to get this done really nicely. So yeah, you've got to watch your height, but your, like, the spread of it, you can be pretty good with. Yeah, that's, see, I'm going to leave it because I don't want to move. Well, I could probably do that one a bit straighter. I think that's all it needs, is just a little bit straighter. I want to go to the edge because you know that'll fit. There we go. A little bit better. I can live with that. I'm not going to worry about the rest of that, but what I might do is bring the C down. Just so you can see that A a bit better. So you can see me, I'm leaving this in, you know, it's not, you're going to probably come across similar things, so it's good to see how you can fix it. And I'd use your liquid glue so you've got that time to be able to move it around. No, that's fine. And then let's finish it with, what do I want? The yellow heart there. Could do, see, I haven't put the duck on there, have I? Don't think I can get the duck in there as well. Although I could do, you've got to make sure it's going to go. No, maybe we'll have the duck stuck right there or something. I won't do that one. Or maybe we could have him down there. Ah, that's quite sweet. Why don't we do the yellow one down there? Because that will fit nicely then. It fits, it matches that curve. So let's just check that that all goes in. Yeah, that's fine. Apart from that little bit there, we're in. So hopefully with all my tips and tricks, you can see how it all kind of comes together. Put my little one there, and then, and if you don't end up filling all the space, you can always trim it away. Let's do another little heart there. Hopefully this is in shot. Yeah, it is. Like so. What I might do is just trim away that bit there. I mean, you can leave it exposed. It's not, I don't feel you've got to get rid of it, but if you just struggle, or maybe you've got nothing left to fill the space, just trim it away. So I just want to finish off with that corner, I think. Maybe, I quite like the heart there. You can see it against that white bottle. God, I think this is the longest I've done a launch before, isn't it? Yeah, we're nearly at 2 hours, which is perfect, so I'm nearly finished. And I'm glad that I've been able to get everything in that I wanted to. So yeah, that's all fine. But again, you can see how much will hide in there. So let's pop. In fact, I'm not going to stick, you've got to be careful what you stick there, because again, you don't want it catching on anything sliding in. So I'm going to leave that. I did say I was just going to do it like that. I might just cut a smaller heart just so I can get it finished in that red. So let's take this little one here. And I've been sat down. That's lovely. Yeah, and if you imagine, like, when you start using like glitter cards and mirror card and things like that, when you've got that popping out and it catches the light, it looks so cool. And I've got little stars that I've used on some of the other samples and things, so you know, there's a lot of inspiration. Let's pop this one right on the end there. So the saddle is been made to the size that you don't want to go any longer than that, because it might hit with all the mechanism underneath, but it's to give you that kind of guide of how, you know, you want to build the shape that you want to build up. I think I am happy with that, so let's just pop all this back. And I'll bring in some of the other samples to, could probably put that one down there. Kind of like that one. I think we can get away with that one. Let's stick that one in. You watch it a catch on it now when I close it. And maybe just like another little heart or something up there. I'm happy I started an MTS bank account. Oh gosh, like a little savings account. There we go. Right, let's take away all of this so you can see it better without all of the other bits around it. So there you go. That's your double wiper. I didn't actually use the numbers as well on the pages. I forgot to add those. But you could still stamp them now. I could stamp them. I could, you know, put a bit of pressure underneath there if I need to. But add some little stars and things like that. I think it look cute. And then that all folds up. Hopefully it's not going to catch. Just the little bit of the heart catches on that safety pin. But otherwise that all folds down into your card. And then that's just gone a little bit higher there. But I don't want to mess around with that anymore. It's a brilliant concept. Thank you. Beautiful card, Sam. Another brilliant collection. Thank you, Sam, for another fantastic collection.